Hello, I am Michael Devin of Whitesnake, and you are watching Gear Masters, and I'm about to tell you about some of my gear. Well, what we got here, this is actually not part of mine, this is part of Joel's solo feature. But we start here with the Studio Logic, and these are basically MIDI control Taurus pedals. They're for the low end. If we could hear them right now, it'd go wow, like really freaky. I just basically use them in intros and outros of songs. Just to give a cool bottom end to the sound of the band, top of the show, end of the show kind of a thing. And that is run by a piece of machinery back there. We will get to in a second. Well, you know, I mean, some of my favorite bass players. I mean, I guess I got this idea from Geddy Lee. I think every bass player who uses or incorporates Taurus pedals probably nicks it from Geddy Lee, because he was sort of the master of that, you know. I figured I'd give it a shot, you know. David mentioned him one day, when we were having a conversation, and he said, give it a shot. If it works and it sounds cool, we'll keep him. If not, then we get rid of him. And he liked it, and I've been loving it. So I just think it's cool. It's a nice addition, and it allows me to, you know, I keep this at a really low E, so when I'm on this, I can be an octave higher, or even 2 octaves higher. It gives me a nice split. Makes the bass world sound bigger. Yeah, my pedal board, my train set, as Coverdale calls it. Last year, the past, actually, since I've been in this band, I've been doing features with harmonica. And this year I asked if maybe it'd be a good idea to do something with the bass, because I haven't, you know, I'm not James Cotton on harmonica, you know. So I brought in my train set here, and kind of built a little bass feature with it. This Ditto here is just a very simple looping pedal by TC Electronics. It's very, very simple. It's just, you know, tap and hold or tap twice, and you start building a rhythm, which is basically what I do in my feature. I start with a percussive kind of a feel, and then I start adding in other parts of the effects. The bass envelope filter, when that's engaged in my bass and I hit my bass, it gives it a nice, you know, kind of a more of a, it sounds like percussion. And then, you know, your phaser, I use this in like Still of the Night. I use it also in my bass feature. The Octa Bass, pretty simple, you know, it's just an octave pedal that when I engage it usually like when we're all on a riff, like in Slow and Easy, boo 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 doo boo, you know, I engage it there, fattens it up. The Flashback, this is a great delay pedal. Reb Beach gifted me this, and I'm grateful for it because it's awesome. It's a really cool delay pedal. That's there. That I usually this is coupled with this, your whammy pedal. This is my Tex whammy pedal. I gotta get myself one. But basically, when this thing is running, and I got all the rhythm going, I step on this, and it brings me up 2 octaves or an octave. So my bass sounds like a high registered guitar, I suppose, and I put the delay on there. Kind of a lead sound. I basically just kind of play a little lead over what rhythm I have created. Here, bass wah. You can actually kind of hear my effects without the bass on, but and bass wah is used kind of, you know, here and there in the show. It's kind of redundant because this thing really sounds like a serious wah, but I use all of those in my bass feature and in songs too, you know. They're good fun, you know. What we've got here, this is the Sub Phatty, the Moog Sub Phatty. This is basically, if the PA were on, you could hear what sound comes out of those Taurus pedals. This is basically where that sound is created, and that's the controller out there. So pretty cool. Very, very cool little piece, man. I love it. Yeah, because this is gain or volume, I believe. I believe this is actually the volume, so we don't want it getting hit during the show or whatever. We just leave it be. Pitch wheel always goes back, reverts to 0, so there's no concern there. And I've got my banks. I've got different tones settings stored in here for presets. And this big old knob here is kind of that's the fun knob, because that's where it goes. If you could actually manually play with that while you're playing, it'd be really badass. But I can't, so I kind of just leave it at a relatively throaty kind of tone. It's cool. I'm sure it annoys the rest of my bandmates, but nobody's complaining. Fuck it. So some multi-selector. If I had more than 2 basses, which I do. I got my DI box in here, my MXRs, the 10-band EQ, which I'm not using at present because of the amp heads that I'm using now, which I will get to. This is just a power conditioner, and then we've got my wireless units here, and Joel's as well. Then below we have got my my heads. These are my SVT2 Pro heads that were they're very special, actually. These are the Premier Editions, only 250 ever made. I've got number 86 and number 10. So they're big, they're beastly, they're tubes, and they kick ass. They sound amazing. I love them. Well, I mean, when I'm home, when I'm working outside of Whitesnake, these are the heads I normally use, or have been using up until the point where I started working with Orange amps, and that's the company that who endorses me. But because of the nature of this tour and the way that we've mapped it out, I was either going to use Orange for the United States and then use something else for the rest of the world, or use my amp pegs, which are mine, domestically, send them home, and then use Orange for the rest of the world. So I decided to do that. So my B rig will be Orange heads. These are just for the States, but they sound great. It's a very warm tone. I mean, these heads were basically built when, I believe, when Ampeg purchased, the U.S. purchased Ampeg back from the Japanese, if I'm not mistaken, in the really late 80s, early 90s. They came out with these as sort of an offering to say, look, we're going back to, quality. No disrespect, but I think that's kind of what the feeling was at the time when the Japanese Ampegs were coming out. They weren't as good, so they came out with 250 of these to say, listen to these. We're gonna kick some ass again. Man, they're great. I love them, but I can't take them all around the world with me, unfortunately, because I would need 4 of them, and I don't know if I can find 4 of them. What else we got in here? We got some. We got some wonderful Roto Sound strings that my string company so graciously sent out, and then some basses. This here is my, let me see if I can get this thing out here. This is my 1978 Rickenbacker, and I don't play it live, but I use it as a practice bass, a warm-up bass, and if anything should happen to my A or B bass, then I would grab this guy. But she's my favorite. I love her very much. 1978, and as you can tell, lots of wear and tear, and she's awesome. It sustains for days, like you just listen to it. But it really does have crazy sustain, double truss rod in the neck. It's awesome. Ricky's rule, they really do. But my main basses right now are these ladies, and this is the Walnut 1971 EB3L with the slotted headstock that was kind of short-lived there. This is basically your long scale version of an EB3. Got the EBO pickup, that real fat tone. Billy Sheehan installs one of these in every bass he's got because he loves that EBO sound. And I replaced the bridge with a Hipshot. Hipshot actually made a direct replacement for this, which is really amazing because the old bridges were a little chintzy, given it was 1971. But she's my number one, and I love her dearly. She's got a very unique growl, kind of like an Andy Frazier from Free, Jack Bruce kind of tone. It's real mid-range and a good, nice growl, throaty growl, coupled with the Ampeg. Awesome. These are 105s basically. These are your, you know, I think everybody. I assume everybody uses 105s, but I might be wrong. But they're not nothing special. But they are roto sounds, and I love roto sounds. I think they're the best strings on the market. So this is my number 2. I got her last year on tour in Colorado. I'd been looking for the sister. They only made 2 colors in 1971. It was the walnut or the black, and so I had been kind of fishing around on Craigslist and noticed somebody was selling one in Colorado. I was going to be there in a couple of days, so I hit the gentleman up, and Reb Beach and I went and rented a van and took a ride. We took about an hour ride out of the city, and she does have a cracked headstock, as most of these do, because, you know, of the pitch there, but it's a good solid fix. I had it checked out before I played it live. Different tone, again, also replaced the bridge with a hip shot. Different tone than the walnut. Not as much of a growl, kind of more of a pick tone to it, if you will. Always sounds like I'm playing with a pick, even when I'm not. But the black is badass, you know. So she, I used her a lot at rehearsal, and then when I got that back finally with a new bridge, I brought her back out. But, thanks for checking out my gear here today, and be sure to come to a Whitesnake concert this year. Whitesnake.com, check out some dates there, and be sure to tune into Gear Masters. It's badass. Peace and love.